Before we jump into today's episode, I would like to remind you that we are sponsored by our pals over at the one and only Citylink bus service.
They're my best friend.
I love every one of those guys over there. Do you know why? Because they connect city to city, village to village.
They certainly, I don't know so much about that, but what they certainly do is run a bus every 15 minutes between Glasgow and Edinburgh. It's the 900 is running every 15 minutes between Glasgow and Edinburgh. This August is a 24-hour service. You can also charge your phone.
It's got a USB port on it and USB-C, so you're covered.
It's a big portable charging centre, essentially, on wheels.
100%.
Do you know what else is good? You can go to the Fringe, you can have a couple of drinks, drink responsibly, and then get the bus back home. You don't need to drive, don't worry about parking.
100%.
Get the bus.
Can I ask you a question, Steve?
Mm-hmm.
Is this your card?
It is. The number 40 bus. No. 40 years.
40 years.
40 years.
Yeah, happy birthday, Citylink. 40 years, still out there smashing it, connecting the
100%.
country.
Don't look a day over 39, lads.
Absolutely not.
If you're travelling between Glasgow and Edinburgh this August, perhaps to see us at the Edinburgh Festival, choose Citylink. Citylinking, smart thinking.
The original, the best, the 900.
Welcome to the Some Laugh podcast.
It could be like, oh, that was some laugh, or there was just some laughs.
Some laughs.
Well, no promising all laugh.
No, there's going to be some.
It's some laugh. Carl Donnelly.
Hi guys.
In the studio. How you
Thank
doing?
you for- Yeah, I'm good, man. It's a bit sweaty because it's quite hot in here, and I've just ridden here on a bike in the rain.
In the rain.
So I've got that sort of like funky
Well, you just
flare up.
you just gave a wee name drop of who gave you this tip. Carl.
Daniel Kitson. Yes,
It's a cult name drop.
Yeah.
I don't know if that counts.
yeah. Most people won't have a fucking clue. Comedians will be like, "Woo!" About riding in shorts in the rain. Always ride in shorts rather than trousers because your legs will dry quicker.
It's a good plan.
When you watch Tour de France, they're not often wearing trousers, are they?
That's true. Yeah, cargo trousers,
got cords on.
soaked through trackies. Like, They should do a spin-off one where like, who can wear the most layers.
I feel, Carol, you're a comic who could get away with, and probably has, I would imagine, wearing like trackies on stage.
No, I've got I'm really against it.
Really?
Yeah. I've seen a few comedians do it and I think it's unacceptable. Like, I think shorts after dinner time. I don't like it. I think it's just
You
not
should
allowed.
never see the performer's knees.
Never see, but I think even audience members, if I see somebody in like the front row, a man in shorts in the evening, 100% of the time I'll have a go at him. Not a bad guy. I'm not a fucking disgrace. I mean, I'd say to him like, "Come on, man, you're a gentleman. Should not
Even
should
if
have a long
it's-
trouser
Make
after
the
dark,
effort.
especially when it's dark."
Even if it's like Australia or something like that.
I just think a sock. You need socks. No, I'm not. It doesn't have to be a trouser. You can wear a jean, but like, I just think you shouldn't just be out in sort of leisure wear in an evening.
What do you think of guys who wear like jeans or chinos without socks?
I think they should kill themselves.
What is worse, the chinos with no socks or shorts with socks?
I mean, that's what I've looked at.
That's the
But
style.
This
can I
is morning,
just
though.
in my defense, I've got a pair of trousers in my bag. I was going to pop
he
on,
brought
but you
trousers.
told me we wouldn't be shown below the waist. So this was purely for the ride.
Yeah,
That's just for the Patreon.
But yeah, I've got loads of rules like that. I think every man should wear a watch. I think men should wear a belt. Like if you're wearing
I've got a belt
Yeah.
though.
I've got a belt and a watch today.
Well, a belt is
Yeah.
more
Only
a
a
practice.
classic.
But not in the daytime. I'm talking like, on stage I always wear a jacket, a belt, a watch. I've got loads of weird, and it's not like, they're not superstitions. It's like
Decency, moral
man
code.
rules. It's a moral code, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is.
My gran's got a big thing about any time I go into her house wearing shorts, she just goes, "Oh, the men, they never used to wear shorts back in the day."
Absolutely
And
not.
I'm like, this must be such bullshit. There's
Yeah.
no way.
No, but I think kids did, didn't they? I remember like every picture you see of a schoolboy
Yeah.
in the old days, even in the snow they were wearing shorts.
Yeah.
But I feel like you got to like 16 and they just
Yeah, trousers.
yeah, trousers.
Still
then it's
get
like wearing
kids wearing
smart
those
trousers.
shorts that it's like, it's like full school uniform and shorts, like smart shorts. Does that still exist?
Yeah, blazer.
That wasn't really a thing at my school.
No, same.
No, we didn't. No one that wore shorts.
You get bullied for that.
No.
I always remember seeing a picture of my dad when he was like 8 with wee shorts on, standing in a puddle, just horrible.
honestly, it's probably-
Cover a shuggy bane or something.
It's probably because it was like like they were saving money on the material or something. There'd been something like that back then, maybe.
Yeah.
But then I guess it's, you know, they're kids. There's not that much more
Doing a
material.
lot of
anyway.
cycling as well, these kids.
They'd all sing Kitson.
But you were, Steve was mentioning Australia, because that is, I think, because we, like, when we done Australia and it was like the promoter we were at with didn't want us wearing shorts.
Yeah,
Yes.
I got sent home from I showed up at the gig. He said, "Go
The
and
wrong
get
school
changed."
uniform. Get home and change.
A plimsoll.
do you know what was the kicker about that? Was the year later, I had that in that story in my mind the whole time. So I was always coming in wearing, and it was one day it was like 42 degrees or something like that, and I came in wearing shorts but I had trousers in my bag, and I said, "Do you want me to change it to trousers?" And he went, "Nah, don't worry about it."
Where were you? What part of Australia?
This was Perth.
Yeah, I mean, Perth is like ungodly, isn't it? How hot it is.
Yeah.
Like it ain't even like, it's not like any other part of Australia, Perth, because it's like the hottest bit, but it's also all pavement. Like when you're in the city. So like you get
Cooking you.
this. I got sunburn, like I think there, because it was bouncing off the ground. So I've never felt anything like it. So but even then, I think on stage you should be.
Yeah,
popping
but
on.
that's I mean I do get it, but I was like, you sending me home like 15-minute walk there, 15 back.
I'm into that. A bit more promoters should do
Yeah,
that
I
for
like
comedians. It's just across the board. Like
This guy's
when
a
somebody
prick.
shows up dressed terribly, just fuck off.
Tying in your ass in a dinner suit.
42
Doing
degree.
new stuff on a Tuesday.
That's the worst thing. Like, I don't do many corporates at all, but when you die at a corporate
Oh, no.
and you're overdressed, you just feel so having to get changed in you're always in a crappy dressing room or something. Like that.
Yeah.
And you're just getting out of your suit all sad.
I always feel like the reason I think I like wearing the suit of the corporate is because you go, well, at the very least, they can't say that I didn't dress for it. So because it's like, see if you're down your ass and you're underdressed.
Yeah, oh,
like,
yeah.
Well, I didn't even show up in the suit or whatever, but at least you can go, well, I showed up in the suit and you gave me the money. Do you know what I mean?
Dress for the job you want. I want to die on my ass.
Did you live in Australia for a bit? Carl?
No, we sort of, my wife's from Melbourne, so we spend a chunk of the year there every year.
Ah.
And then so we sort of do like 3-4 months. We have done 6 months at one point. So that was, but it's sort of a second home.
Yeah.
And it'll probably, I think we're going to move it to being like more there and less here as the time goes on.
It's a nice option to
I
have.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so nice.
I've never
you've
been
never
to Australia.
been. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, comedy is, it's not as easy as the UK to like do gigs and make money,
Yeah.
but it's just a lifestyle. I think I'd rather be poor
that's
on
it.
a beach.
Poor and hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if they had the infrastructure of the comedy circuit that we've got here, then you'd move there in a heartbeat.
Well, everyone
wouldn't
would,
you?
I think,
Aye,
as well. But there's a
exactly.
reason a lot of Aussies are coming over here because, like, they just don't have the. It's a bit harder. You got to work a bit harder.
100%.
Yeah. Why is that? Just less people, or was
Well,
it?
yeah, because how big it is like it's only like 20-something million people.
Yeah.
Which I said that like it's a small number.
I take those numbers as a friend.
Yeah,
yeah, but
there's
like,
less people in Australia than there is in London or something.
and I think it is genuinely because of their
That's not
weather.
true.
And there's
Yeah.
more Australians in London than there is anywhere else.
Is that true?
No.
Then
In
grains,
bars, maybe.
grains of rice on a beach.
But I don't think they've got a comedy culture as much in it because like here it's embedded in it. It's like and we're an indoor culture because everyone likes pubs and
That's it.
they don't really have a pub culture. They go to their pub. Have you been to their pubs? The hotels. That's what they call them. They call pubs
really?
hotels.
Aye, they are all called hotels, actually. Aye.
And they're always big and there's none of that small. Get into a dark room and
Yeah.
just get.
Even the
famous.
Brass Monkey is a
yeah,
hotel.
and
But I guess
the Austral in Adelaide, but it was that.
Yeah.
is there no some sort of licensing thing? I always thought.
Oh,
Probably, yeah.
Oh,
It's- I
Can you
thought-
actually stay there though? No.
I thought it was from when it was like the old Wild West times,
Right.
the saloons.
Yeah.
When you'd go in, there'd be rooms upstairs where you'd have it off of a prostitute.
That's still good on, Carl.
I could afford a fucking.
Dressed up to the nines.
Before the,
You're not coming in here wearing shorts.
Go and get changed first.
yeah, but those are good old days. But now I thought that's what they used to be, and now they're pubs, but they kept the name. That was my guess.
Yeah,
Interesting.
probably true, I would say.
Yeah.
Aye. But no, as an outdoor culture, and 'cause I remember, like, particularly in Perth, and like, if it's a scorching hot day outside and you're coming in and the audience are, and you're like, fuck, they don't care about what I've got to say. It's sunny outside. It just feels like holiday all the time.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Like I don't like doing. I'm not a big fan of comedy in the daytimes either. Like
Yeah.
it's still, and obviously it
Doesn't feel right, does it?
stays bright later, but like there's a lot more of that now, isn't there? People doing their shows like, yeah, my show's at 1 p.m.
Yeah.
If you'd have said that 15 years ago, somebody would have thought you were insane.
A few years ago, mine was at half one, and I quite liked it. I could be up the road for 3 o'clock.
Well,
I don't mind it at
everyone's-
the Fringe, but elsewhere it's insane.
But it's still, I think it's quite a new thing at the Fringe for stand up to be in the daytimes. People used to do like little mess around shows in the day, but then the sun went down. It was like vampires. but yeah, I'm sure it's lovely. I know loads of people doing it now, and it seems lovely. But I don't. It's not for me.
Yeah.
I like it at
You-
night time.
You done the blunderbuss one year, didn't you? Carl?
Yeah.
How is that? So it's for people that don't know. Can you explain what
So that was
is?
so I used to do the Pleasance Courtyard every year.
Yeah. Which I remember I used to come and see you.
It's great, and I love that venue. And I know it gets a lot of shit because of the finances of it and that. But like, it is cool. The venues and the rooms are nice. It's a nice little place to hang out, isn't it?
What was that? See that room? That I remember seeing you one year. And it was the year you were talking about the getting the wee tub come in the hospital.
Yeah.
Is it the above or what's it? What, upstairs?
Upstairs, yeah.
I remember seeing like you and like, Ian Stirling.
No context to that.
And James
You're talking about your pot of cum. All right, cool.
Pot of cum, sure.
There's no subtlety to what I was doing.
I was one
That
of
was
the.
my. That was my.
I was going to bring it
art
up later on because it was actually it was a very well told story. You were on a
Thank you.
motorbike, I believe.
I was on a motorbike.
That's
Do you know?
unreal.
It's a true story. It was about when me and my ex-wife. I had to get some fertility tests, and we lived about it was about a 20-minute drive from the hospital, and they told me I had to knock one out in a pot and then they had to do tests. But for some reason, they said, look, they didn't have like a wank room. It wasn't like an IVF clinic or something. It was just they just said you could just do it in the toilets in the hospital. And I was like, that's disgusting. So I said I'll do it at home and drive it there. But then, but they said it's got to be with us within half an hour of it coming out of your body, so we can get it in the lab in time. And I had a little motorbike at the time, so I thought it'd be quicker to do it on that. But so then I basically ended up putting all my gear on first. So I knocked one out in motorbike gear and then dropped it in. And it was the whole routine was about like imagining if you just crashed and just literally got jizz all over you as you die. But like then, so that was an old story. Somebody called me, a comedian called Tony Jameson.
Aye.
Johnny.
He does football manager stuff.
Yeah. He called me about 2 years ago because he'd been accused of nicking that routine because he actually just ended up, he had the exact same experience. And he just told the story on stage and somebody went, that's Carl Donnelly's, but he's like, that's what I just did last week.
How annoyed would you be? You can't even tell that on
I
stage.
know, but I told him just one person might have seen it and have a go. But if something's happened to you, you're allowed to do it. I don't care
Yeah.
if somebody else has had the same thing and talked about it before.
That is tough, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
it's funny as well, even just like the sort of crossover and thinking sometimes, because I always remember there's one year our mate Ali had a show one year at the Fringe, and it was just this mad off the wall thing.
Yeah.
And in the show, it was about a
Clown?
it was a clown, and he used to have this bit. He would come on, he would have a toy baby strapped to him, and he called it Sir Trevor McDonald. And then at one point in the show, he also had a fucking wheelie bin that he got out. Then the same year, I went to see Matt Winnan. Matt Winnan had the whole bit about how Robert Mugabe is my dad, right? And then he had a fucking bin in the show as well. And I was like, you would think that there's no way. No, it was, and he had something about Sir Trevor McDonald as well. That was the point.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you'd never think there'd be any crossover with
Parallel
that
thinking.
kind of stuff. But it's
I had
there.
a thing about seeing former British Canadian tennis player Greg Rosetsky in a cafe, and it was like new material. Whatever, it never fucking worked anyway. But it was like And then I went to see Tim Keeder, Work in Progress, and he had a bit about seeing Greg Rosetsky in a cafe. The fucking chances of that.
That is, it's insane.
It's going to the one place. But I would say this, Carl, because I've been wanting to get you on the podcast for a long time, because I just think, to be honest, I think you're one of the coolest guys in comedy. I would say that. I just go, Carl's fucking cool.
Oh, thank you.
And there's just the way that you carry yourself, and the way that you, even just when you tell stories on stage and stuff like that, it's like, it's just, I don't know, it's very, I always go
Easy
like,
going.
I'd love to be like that guy.
Tell us your ways, Carl.
How can I be as cool as you?
No, but it's because I think it's because I don't know how to do anything else. I'm not one of them. I'd love when you see somebody who's really got a persona on stage. Like, so I think when it's a really strong persona, it's wicked, isn't it? Like, I'm sort of jealous of that, but I can't. I've got my only thing I can do is sort of just go on and be a slightly more confident version of me. That's so it's sort of like, I think it's like, it's the slightly better version of me on stage.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of. Whereas off stage, I'm still the same person, but like it's yeah, just slightly less. I'm not going to just talk over everyone like you do on stage. You have to on stage, otherwise it's going to be chaos, isn't it?
And has that evolved for you? Because obviously, like your look has evolved a lot from
Yeah.
previously
Like-
when you
like
done
boy.
Mock the Week and all that,
But
and you had the big hair and stuff.
You can chart all my looks against my mental health at that time. It's like, I mean, the bus era was like, that was probably my, I'd
What
say
was the
one
name
of
of your show that year again?
the
It was
nutter
funny.
on the bus.
Yeah.
And that was me. That was my basically I went through a divorce. I went a bit mad, and I went off and drank ayahuasca. I did all this mad stuff,
Oh, nice.
and that was the bus was right in the heart of that period where like I used to be with Avalon, and they like I think I've got nominated like a couple of years before, and it was, I think they were all like he's going to go all mainstream, and I just went the opposite for a bit. I went mad and went off into buses and yurts.
Was that your epiphany in the jungle?
Yeah.
Do the bus car.
Yeah. Everyone else finds their sort of centre. I just got told to do a fucking 45-seater. But it was, and then it took a few years to then sort of come back out and go normal again. And this is me back in my normal. I feel like the most normal I've ever felt, probably.
Yeah.
I've really settled into. I like this. And now, but I'm thin on top. So now, I reckon I've only got a couple of years left of this before I either go turkey or bald.
Interesting.
Would you do it? Would you go?
Do you know
Turkey
what?
teeth
Up
and all
until I reckon 6 months ago, I was dead against it. I like the sort of the aging appropriately. Just let your body. If you're going bald, just go bald. So it's just you can't stop any aging stuff. But then I met up with Kai Humphries.
Yeah.
And I met him the week before he got his hair plugs, and he's totally open about it. He's talking. I mean, have you seen his
I know
videos?
he's came on our podcast talking
He's
about
so
it.
confident
You
about
can't
it.
shut up about it.
Yeah, I know.
It's the opposite.
I mean, he did get a big discount for talking about it on Instagram. So like, and I met, and he just said something to me that actually was really nice. He went, look, he goes, mate, I like my hair. I don't want to lose it. If you can, basically said, if you can keep it, why wouldn't you? And I was like, oh yeah, I've not even crossed my mind that it's not actually that big a deal anymore.
Yeah.
I think them things used to be big, innit? But now I think they have lost their. If you could talk about it on stage, probably make it funny and it'd be all right.
100%.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And tax deductible, I reckon. Do you reckon it's that?
I reckon so.
Yeah, maybe.
If you're posting about it, if it's for your comedy. and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did Jacob Hawley not get a free one because he was doing it for the podcast?
Aye, they done it for a laugh.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think.
he had one?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He didn't even really need one.
Where did he get his?
got it
What
from
part?
Turkey, I think.
It's
I think
always
they just
I think
did it
they
for
got
what
his
part of the
best.
heads? Because Kai
Think-
had to get them bits filled in,
Yeah.
and he got the top, so he had quite
Yeah.
a big one.
Yeah.
Whereas some people just need a little
Just
there.
that,
Some people
man.
just need like Lloyd Griffith got his. His was just brought brought his like his
Forward.
Yeah, just
the
cut off a bit of
hairline
his forehead. But I think he got a pretty sweet deal as well.
I would consider it. I'm
consider
going a
it.
bit bald at these bits.
I might get
Yeah.
mine taken right down to the
Just
eyebrows.
the eyebrows, yeah.
Yeah. See how far. Yeah, I wonder if they can.
Just the whole lot.
It's like my whole
Back to
face.
Wookie.
But you suit the grey, I would say, Carl.
I think as well. I really like it because I know a few guys that chuck a bit of Just for Men in, and I quite like grey.
I think that's the next step, innit? If they can get the same technology that they do in Turkey to get the hair transplant going, if they could, because the Just for Me, still you can tell.
I've heard
It's
there
not
is
midnight black.
if that would be fun if I went full black. I think I'd look like a psycho.
Like a greaser.
But I read something. There's a new drug they're working on, and they reckon within 10 years you'll be able to reverse hair color, like you're changing
Wow.
color back to its natural color.
Really?
That's probably when I'll need
Did
it.
you see the thing with the pill for the men? The birthing.
Oh,
the,
yeah.
that
Birth
thing
control
of-
thing?
Birth control. They said no side effects. So
They've
that's,
cracked it.
They've cracked it. I seen a wee article yesterday.
That
Breaking
must-
news.
That must be tough for the woman to hear, given
What?
all the side effects of their
We really worked on this one hard. Come on, guys, we need more effort on this one.
Turns out we were just doing that on purpose. Fucking
I
hell.
would
Fuck
take
me.
the male birth control
fucking
pill.
good.
Yeah.
For real.
Is
But
there
do you
any side
think
effects?
I think the problem is there's going to be a lot of women that probably don't have the trust in the guy. You know,
Do you think?
if it's your partner and you're together, I think they'd trust you. But I reckon if imagine like there's a casual hookup,
Well, then-
Yeah.
But then-
and he's like, "Oh, I'm on the pill." I reckon that
Well, guess
Even
what,
if-
buddy? You're in 2 condoms.
you make them take it in front of you, innit? I want to see you down it.
But I reckon they'll be there'll be less guys wanting to have a baby than maybe a girl that would want a
Oh,
baby.
you're right.
maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, you pretend you're not on the pill, event. You're like, no, I'm not on the pill.
Yeah.
I'm on it. But
Yes. And
but
also, I
then,
think
but
more.
then STDs would be rife if guys can just
Yeah.
do
Yeah,
that all the time.
that's
it.
true.
I think they're pretty rife already, though. So you might as well just go with the
Speak for
flow.
yourself, Carol. No, I don't know.
I've
But-
never had one.
No, I've never had one.
No,
one of my
same.
I
biggest.
have had one.
I'm very proud of that.
Well done.
You've never had one?
No, I have had
Oh
one.
yeah. Okay. Which one?
Chlamydia.
Okay. Thank you.
just when all three of you said you never had one, I had to speak. Didn't
This
have a
week's
choice.
episode is brought to you by penicillin.
How do you clear? How do you clear up? Is it antibiotics?
Yeah.
Easy. Is there any visual?
No visual. I'm not getting out on the pod. I'm not currently.
Thankful we're just showing Stu from above the waist.
No, but I mean, is it one of them ones you just go for a test and they tell you got it? It's not something you notice and then you go.
No. Yeah.
It's not like genital warts.
Yeah, no side
Which I
effects.
thought I had.
stress that
I thought I
highly
had
enough.
genital warts
Oh, aye.
years ago, and it turns out they were just a thing called seminal glands,
Oh.
which is just like slightly, and you have your glands on it just slightly flare up.
No, right.
So it looks like it
Alright.
could be bad, but it's totally natural.
Is that
Cool.
try to explain that?
Just plug your French shot down the barrel and then we're out.
Oh yuck!
Tell us about your ayahuasca experience, Carol.
What do you know? What it wasn't the big full. I did full ayahuasca, but I didn't go to Peru.
Oh,
Like,
well,
so-
we had Darren Connell on the podcast who did go to Peru and
did
then
it? How did
he got shunned for wanking.
Oh yeah.
He was on
I
the
think
motorbike at the time.
I've seen a clip of this. It's really funny. But I am so my mate was going to Peru, and one of my best friends, and we both were into all that stuff at the same time, and he wanted to go off and do it properly, like a 10-day ayahuasca retreat. And I just, at the time, I just didn't have I was like, I can't go away for 10 days. I haven't got the time. And so he planned it, and then off he went. And about a week before he went, I got a call from a friend who had made friends with a shaman in London, right? and he said, he's running these ayahuasca retreats at his house, and he built a big retreat centre into his back garden illegally. And then
It's not the most sense.
it was in southeast London. It was a place called Plumstead, which is a shithole as well. And it was next to a graveyard, so it was weird, bad vibes. But this is absolutely true. Like my mate who wanted me to go with him, like we ended up doing it on the same day, but in different countries. Like what that is, there's some weirdness there.
Wow.
But so I went, I just agreed to it. And it was a one-night one, and I met the guy, and he was an ex-professional skateboarder who'd become a shaman. And like he'd been going back and forth and doing like ayahuasca, but then he sort of one of his revelations was he reckons in a previous life he was a shaman. So now he'd trained to be a shaman in this life. And it ended up being amazing. Like he was really cool and lovely and like he was a proper hippie. And yeah, we just sort of drank it at about just as the sun was going down. And then you drink one lot, and about 45 minutes later, you're in it. It's really kicking in. It's gross. It feels like it turned into a werewolf. Like,
Is that the purge thing? Do you have to do
but it's just
that, or-
before the vomiting. It just feels like it's taken over your body. And then just at that point, they say, right now it's time to drink again. And some people didn't because you feel gross. But I was like, let's do it. And I just downed another one. And I did another one 45 minutes later as well. So I just went full on into like this. And you go into this cycle of like vision. I'm just lying there, just rolling around having visions. And then you'd wake up every like 20 minutes and just vomit everything that's in your body.
Wow.
And then cry. And then you'd go back into visions. It was this cycle for about 7 or 8 hours. It was horrendous. And you go through this point about halfway through where you're like, I'm never coming back. And that was a real moment of like, once you're through that, you've given up. You're like, this is me forever now. And that's when you get into the good stuff. Because you actually are like, right, I'm never coming back. I might as well just see what's going on now.
Yeah.
And it sounds nonsense, but I did have some major like breakthroughs.
Like what?
What,
I know
yeah.
it sounds but I had visions of my mum, and my mum's alive, but like she, I always used to have quite a tricky relationship with my mum because like I always felt like she preferred my brother. And he's an older brother and that, and I always felt like the spare wheel of the family, which is probably why I've ended up doing something like fun, like comedy.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
my brother there's a used car salesman, and like I was always like, ooh, and so I had to always go my own way. So I always felt my mum. And I've totally rewritten what she was like as a mum. I think, as you do, you sort of like you only remember the shit. She always had like mental health issues as well. But like, I had loads of nice visions from childhood that I'd totally forgotten of her doing nice stuff for me.
Wow.
Just went through this series of nice things that I'd totally forgotten.
Wow.
And obviously I woke up and I'm crying and vomiting. Like, you was a good mum. and then I went through that all night, different periods of things and different stuff. And in the morning, I was the first one to wake up. It was about 7 a.m. And the sun was like, it was a lovely morning. I just went and I was smoking at the time. I was sat on this deck chair with the sun on my face, just smoking. I felt like I'd gone through about 30 years of therapy. I felt so clear and like it was amazing.
Does that last like for,
I think so.
For a bit?
Yeah,
or?
I think I sort of definitely still am pretty chilled about. I did loads of other ones. I did DMT. At that period of time, I was really gunning for like
That one
something.
sounds scary to me.
That's terrifying. First time I
But
did it
is
was on my
DMT
own
not-
as well.
Is
I'm
it
an
not?
idiot.
Is ayahuasca no like a kind of more intense form of DMT or what? How's it
Yeah,
work?
but it's intense, but you're in and out of it. Like, it's sort of waves.
Aye.
And now and again you come to and you realise, I'm here. With DMT, you smoke it and it's like, boom, you're gone. And that feels like you've been gone for, like, when I did it, I was on my own. And I remember coming back from a gig and I was meant to be doing it with a friend in about a week. And I just got back and I'd had like a beer, 1 or 2 beers. And I just remember remembering it. It was in a drawer. And I was like, I might just do it now. It was like 11:30 at night. And I got them lights down. And this is so pretentious, but I put on some music and the song, The End by The Doors came on. And that's an 11-minute song. And I was like, oh, this is a nice one. And I built this sort of makeshift bong and I smoked it. And I didn't know what it was going to be like at all. And I just went like that. And I remember trying to put the bottle down. And as I was doing that, everything started going brrrr. And by the time I put it down, it just went like brrrr. And it felt like I'd just been ejected out of my body into space. And I was gone. I didn't know. And I was no longer me or in the room. And I thought I'd been up in this, I went to this weird place. And all I remember was these things were like, you're not meant to be here yet. Sorry, I didn't know. And it's so insane. Obviously, I'm not sure I believe any of it or whether it's just some weird dark recesses of your mind.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was there forever. Like I'm talking like months, weeks, whatever. Because I remember coming to. And I realised I was in the room again. I was like, oh, and I remember thinking, I checked myself to see if I had a beard because I thought I'd been gone so long.
I've gone bald. I need a hair transplant.
and everything looked like I was in The Simpsons. Everything was so bold and outlined. And I finally sort of got my senses together and I listened and the same song was still on. And I reckon there was about 2 minutes left of it. So I'd been gone for about 9 minutes. And I felt like... Yeah, it was mad. And I remember that night I'd gigged with Sean Walsh and just chatted to him. And I think I might have mentioned that I'd had this stuff I was going to do. And like I think I might have called him, or I can't remember if I called him or just I had to speak to somebody. So imagine that at midnight you get a call from a mate you were with earlier. I've just been to space. Oh man, it was brutal.
That's mad.
Yeah.
That's interesting you had the stuff about your mum, because I've heard before, like a lot of people say there's like, it's they always get a feminine energy or some goddess or something like that.
I hear people say I met this sort of like snake-like god, and it was like I didn't have any of that. I just had literal like childhood regression, like proper therapy. So mine was very sort of hands-on, rather
pretty
than
good.
too.
Yeah,
weird.
That's what you want, isn't it? That's what you do.
I think so. Yeah, I don't want to meet a snake. Weirdly, I don't have much issues with snakes. So yeah, no, I got a lot out of it, but then I've never done it again. So like, and DMT I've not done for 10 years. Like that was during that period post-divorce. Going a bit wonky, trying to sort stuff out, and I think I did sort of quite a lot of it out. And
you'd
luckily,
recommend it?
well, I think maybe
Great Patreon content, us three doing DMT.
7 minutes of
special.
yours.
Have you still got that ex-skateboarder's number, man?
I do actually. But he actually went back to skateboarding briefly as well. He's so good at skateboarding.
Wow.
I know it sounds obviously he's an ex-pro. I sent a friend of mine is like quite a good skateboarder. He's an Australian comedian called David Quirk, and I told him about the guy and I showed him footage. And he was like, this guy is like world class. You know, he's a proper high end.
Nice.
I don't know anything about skateboarding.
No.
Like, I just think it's kids stuff, innit?
You're not wearing proper trousers, do
I know.
No,
With
you
your-
don't.
I mean, they wear big baggy ones. Don't they? Oh, they don't now. A lot of them look like hipsters, don't they? I think skateboarding fashion's really
It's gone
shifted.
mainstream.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's now they look like they work in, you know, a coffee shop rather
Yeah.
than.
Do you think Tony Hawk's, when that came out, that was just the biggest
The
thing
game.
in the world, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was wicked.
It was good.
Like, I'm not,
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't care about skateboarding, but even I love
game
that
was
game.
good.
The game was class.
Oh.
Yeah.
It really did sort of just popularise it, didn't it, the old skateboarding thing.
We've
I think
got
that's-
someone in the
I
room.
think that's
What was
it.
in the room?
Somebody's in early.
Good.
Is it the poster? The
It's
poster.
embarrassing when someone comes in when you're doing a podcast.
Oh,
It feels
so
like you've been
embarrassing.
caught
You've been
playing
caught.
after school.
Yeah, I know.
I think came in 5 minutes ago and it would literally sound like we're doing a parody of a podcast about DMT.
My daughter, whenever I do podcasts like this one I do with Julie and Dean, and often we do it remotely mostly because we're lazy, and but like my daughter's 5. And I always have to say, like, I'm just nipping into the room to do a podcast, and she's like, "Oh, can I do it?" I'm like, "No, you know, it's not really for kids." And I'm suddenly like, what does she think I do?
Yeah.
Just go into a room and she can just hear me laughing and talking. It's like
It's not for kids.
No, such not a job, is it?
But then I suppose like that they all say this about like kids want to be YouTubers now and stuff like that. So maybe they have an idea.
Oh God, I don't want to
That's-
be a YouTuber. Ugh.
Well,
Good money though sometimes.
I know.
If you can
sometimes.
if you can crack it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd love to know the percentages. Like, what's the percentage of people that actually make? It's got to be 99% don't make anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got to be even lower than like comics.
Yeah, I reckon it is.
Surely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because anyone can do YouTube, and
Yeah.
only mentally ill people can do comedy.
You were early on the podcast train because I used to listen to your podcast with Chris Martin.
Oh,
back in the
right.
day.
Yeah,
That-
yeah.
When did you do that? What year was that?
We started that in 2008.
Yeah.
wow.
Which was right. I mean, I remember the only podcast I'd heard at that point was Ricky Gervais did one,
yeah.
and Richard Herring had just started his.
Mm.
And then me and Chris were just like mates and comedians, and we just were like, we should do one. And it was literally us sat next to a laptop like that, and it actually was right. It was quite popular. Like it
was
became
great.
like a bit of a cult hit,
yeah.
and it was really fun. But then he moved to LA, so we had to bin it off.
Mm.
So which is a shame.
Do
'cause
you
it was-
kind of wish you kept that on? Because you would have been like king of the world by now if you.
I reckon it would have been nice.
Nah, I don't know. I'd be king of the world. Actually.
Doesn't sound very good.
No, I don't know. Well, yeah, it would have been nice because Chris is one of my best mates, and we still we talk all the time. But like, it was a much more. I don't know. The dynamic between me and Chris is two just mates talking. With me and Julian, it's like we're mates, but like Julian is he's a psychopath. not a real psychopath. What I mean is he's the most intensely like ADHD but darkest human. Like it's like trying to wrangle someone who's trying to get the whole podcast cancelled, like on purpose at all times. Every now and again, you can see he's checked out. I'll be talking to him; he's literally not paying attention. Like, it's such a different dynamic. It feels like I'm sort of I feel like the totally unfunny host.
Yeah.
And
No, I know that
he's,
feeling. I know that feeling.
And he's just this loose cannon that I've got to wrangle into making him say the funny stuff. So yeah, with Chris, it was a much more like 50-50 relationship, which was so much easier for me.
Yeah.
With Julian, I feel like I do all the work and he just says all the funny lines.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Because I guess like the difference between then and now as well is like obviously it's like the video stuff is changing, all the clips and all that, which
Yes.
wasn't really about when
I know.
Yeah.
back then.
They
wasn't
had
it?
to
You
make a
couldn't-
cartoon out of Ricky Gervais.
I know. Do you remember?
Hanna-Barbera involved.
Oh man, yeah. It's a shame. If we would have been professional, we could have probably got it sort of, a higher level. But then I'm not. I've never been professional with anything.
It's too much work.
It is too much work.
Shift.
Just didn't get into this to be professional.
Absolutely. not.
No, I think I got into it to not have a job,
Yeah.
which I think
No,
is
you've got
enough.
like 10.
Yeah, I've got loads of cooking jobs, but still my days are free. That's all that matters.
No. So see when you like so what was your trajectory in terms of, so did you get nominated and then and is that how you ended up in Mock the Week and all that kind of stuff? What happened
Yeah, I
back
think
then?
so. Like I think so in 2009 I got nominated for Newcomer.
Aye.
And then I got a few. That was when I got a few opportunities, but I
Yeah.
just wasn't. I was rubbish. I just don't think I was ready for them at all. I genuinely just like looking back. I've never ever watched any of them back. I can't watch. I can't watch myself. And yeah, I just don't know. I don't think I was particularly confident in myself or any of that. So the things I did, I hated all of them. I used to often like slightly, it's not self-sabotage, but like I'd always put something in the day to like keep, just, whereas everyone else was sat in their, like, you know, working on their jokes. But I remember the first time I did Mock the Week, I went and got a filling done just before it. Because I just thought, if I'm doing that, it will take my mind off it. Because I just never liked that. I was so nervous about it that I just didn't want to, I didn't really want to be there. And it wasn't a fun environment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is it like a sort of, everyone's just trying to get their jokes in and it's not that?
Not everyone. There was nice people, like, you know, Dara's a lovely guy and he's very giving. But like, I was sat next to Hugh Dennis, and he's a lovely guy when you're off air. Yeah. But when he's on, man, he's just such a pro. All he was doing was like, you know, he's not even listening to anyone else. He's just got his list of jokes he's going to run through, and I just found that really intimidating. I sort of went into my shell like, I don't want to be here really. I was at no point of the record was I enjoying it, and that was the opposite of what I got into comedy for. I like having fun, and on stage is really fun, isn't it? And like doing podcasts is fun. And them things are fun. And that felt like this is the opposite of fun.
Yeah.
Horrible work.
Aye. Well, it's like, because podcasts are so much more collaborative and stuff, isn't it? And you can just like listen and give people space and like jump on, like, you know, build stuff up. Whereas there it did seem so much more cutthroat.
Just them quick lines that's not my forte either. Much like, you know, when you do them pre-festival things where like, send us some jokes from your show. It's like, I've got 5 and then 12 minutes each. Like, you know what I mean? I've never had that thing of being able to write a joke. So, it's come and see my show. Shit.
Where are you at with the drink and drugs these days, Carol?
I talk about it in my show. Like, I still love drugs not so much, but drink is I still love a beer. Like, it's just like, but I'm very seasonal. Like, up here, I'm one of the people that have always allowed myself up here to have drinks. Like, you know, some people are like, I'm not drinking during the Fringe. I'm like, but you're sort of ruining ruining part of the experience of it.
You hear that, Liam With Neil? No. Get back on it.
Exactly. This should be the 1 month he allows himself. But
it's like Glastonbury's a fallow month on his sobriety.
But I go months without it, and then I'll just like, it'll get to like December, I go a bit, and I just sort of, and summer, I just like, summer drinking's nice, isn't it? Beer gardens.
Lovely.
Yeah.
But then sort of I'll go through periods where I don't touch it. But it's not in a sort of, I'm not on it. I'm just like, I'll just have a healthy period where I'm exercising but then allow myself a month to go a bit silly.
It's good. It's good to like just, you know, do the show, and it's like, you know, you've got to. I don't know if you're into, like, maybe let's see if when you've got a show every single day, it's kind of just hanging over you that wee bit. See the relief when you finish the show for the day, and the rest of the evening, you kind of like, you can relax a wee bit. It's nice.
You just want to have a couple of beers and some DMT.
That's
after
it.
the show
Just
sometimes.
a couple of grams of coke, cheeky bumper ket, and then I just go home, innit?
Not enough to ruin the show the next day. Just enough to get you back.
But I mean, I used to be mad, but no, I've got a 5-year-old as well, so I can't. You know, my thing of like, I really like to, after my show finishes at 9:30. I'll go for a couple of beers, and like, if I'm home by like, the latest night I've had was 2 up here, and that felt really late for me now. Like, you know, if I'm out in like mates in London, I have the odd blowout, I can have a really late one, but up here, you know, my daughter's waking me up at 7 irregardless. So I've got, if I can get home by sort of midnight 1 latest, I'm sorted.
How has fatherhood changed your lifestyle in that regard? And like, have you had to sort of like change it? Because if you did like a night out back in the day and all that kind of stuff, and you were out late a lot, was it a struggle to kind of adapt? Or
I think it's good. I think it's helped in terms of the rare occasions I go big, you know, which is like once every financial quarter. I like
for tax reasons.
Got to get it in before year end. I did like when Tottenham won the Europa League. What's your 10:45 alarm? What's that one for?
Absolutely no idea. That's time to take my male contraception.
Have you had that before when an alarm goes off in your show? And you're like, oh, what's that? What you got an alarm set for? And they're like, it's for my medication. I'm like, okay. Cool. But no, I went out when Tottenham won the Europa League, and like I'd not drunk for about 6 weeks. I just got back from Australia 6 weeks weeks before, and I was at the gym 4 times a week. I was feeling like the fittest I've felt for so long. And then Tottenham were in the final of the Europa League. I was like, I've got to have a drink.
Yeah.
And I went insane. Like, it's the first time I've done it. I did an all-nighter. And I walked in the door at 6:45 or something like that in the morning. And my wife and daughter at the breakfast table, and my wife was just laughing. Luckily, like she met me when I was like in my peak of going out, and she loved that. I think she loved it when I've got a naughty boys tattoo that's matching with Kai Humphries. So we got it after an all nighter at the Melbourne Comedy Festival. So it literally says NB for naughty boys. We just made it up while we were drunk. We went, tomorrow if we're still going, we're going to a tattoo parlour and getting matching tattoos, and we did. And I think my wife loved that.
Yeah.
And now we're middle-aged parents. She still loves it once every now and again when I just go mad.
Yeah.
It's like she just sort of gets excited to see me just that little spark go off again.
If it was every week, it would be.
Well, exactly, yeah. And she knows it's
enthusiasm drain.
Oh, you love it. You told me you love it.
I'm doing it for you, darling.
It's midday. But no, luckily she was laughing when I came in. But I was so pissed. I started trying to convince her that I was all right to do the school run. And she was just like, I think legally I don't think you're allowed. Yeah. Like, how that would be a killer at the school gates. Just me just off my nut. But no, so it's very, so I have the odd blowout, but then on the whole now I just sort of, up here I've just been having a couple of beers after the show. It's been lovely.
That's good.
It's social. It's nice as well. You see nice people that you might not see all year.
Exactly. No, that's exactly it. And I'm like, I really enjoy it because like I drive to a lot of gigs. So it's like I feel like whenever I'm in London for like a week or two, or when I'm in at the Fringe, because like usually when I'm at gigs I've got the car, I just take advantage of the fact that I can have a drink. And for the Fringe, like every year, like, particularly like, you know, years ago when I was younger and I would be caning it more, I used to always think like, I'm going to be an alky by the end of this festival, because if you're drinking every single night for a month, but I've came out and I'm always like, I can stay off it. I'm like, oh, thankfully I've not got whatever dependence it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
but often, the years I probably went the maddest, like, I think I would always go into such a crash afterwards of like physically, you know, because I always used to do. I remember, do you know Jimmy McGee, comedian? Jimmy,
yeah, I've seen him.
He's a very funny comedian, one of my best mates, and like me and him used to live together a lot up here, and he would always like try and have like we'd sort of be going out every night. But he would be like, every week he'd be like, I'm going to have a night off. And then the day after that, he'd feel terrible. Like his body would sort of start, you know, going into that sort of recovery thing.
Yeah.
Whereas I actually always said to him, look, if you're going to drink up here, you might as well just have a couple of nights and then have a couple of big nights out, whatever. Because your body actually does get into a routine. But then if you do it every night and go a bit silly, my September, like the first week of September was always like real bad. Not for like withdrawal, just for like, your body finally allows itself to sort of go, right, you're not doing a show every night. You don't have to stay focused. So you just go, I once went so mad up here for a whole month. I think that was right. That was, do you know, it was the year I got nominated. 2013, that was like I was the most, like I split, so I wrote a show and then, it was totally about normal stuff. And then 2 weeks before the festival, me and my wife broke up. So I basically was writing the show every day up here, and I was also going mad, and I was also literally pissed out of my head every day, and the show must have been amazing. I have no recollection of it whatsoever, or record of it. And,
that's a tip for any newcomers.
But that was my second. That was just my 2013 show,
wow.
And I got nominated for the main award. When I don't remember a single word of that show, and like I've never read a review of it or anything. I've sort of left it be. You know, I didn't even go to the award ceremony.
Really,
I was just that wasn't what I was doing. But like that month, I went so insane.
You may have won. You never know. I'm still waiting for you picking up the award.
But I remember going home, and then obviously I didn't drink for a while after that. But I got back to London. The day after I got back, I went deaf for a week, which was and it was just, my body just went into full shutdown mode. And it was disgusting. But
what do you mean you went deaf?
How long did that?
I had this sort of weird viral infection that I just had that somehow didn't kick in till the train home.
God,
and I went like 90% deaf.
Oh my God.
How long did that last?
It lasted about a week. And I did a couple of gigs during that. And have you ever done? I don't know if you've ever done a gig deaf. It is so hard not to like. You don't hear any laughter.
Yeah.
It's like being a shit comedian. So they do it all the time.
I've done that.
It must be kind of freeing though.
Is
If
the
you're
rest of the
like,
nominees, am I right? No.
like if you could do a gig and you don't need to hear the laughs, I think that would be quite freeing.
Oh,
You
it
can
must
just
be so liberating.
you could just go for it, just say your stuff, and you don't care if you're getting a response.
And it just sounds now like we're digging out comedian, but like there are obviously tiers of comedian, not just like professional and whatever, but there are tiers of like what people expect from a gig, isn't there?
Yeah.
You know, and I think that changes with generations. I think some people know that if they're doing a show, it's going to be a gentle sort of whatever, but like then people are just killers. And that,
Yeah.
they expect every gig to be like,
Yeah,
like you all know Kevin Bridges.
yeah.
Kevin has got the highest standards of what he like what a good gig is. You know, if he comes off and they've not literally been rolling in the aisles, he thinks he's died.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas, that I'd love to be that. You know, them comedians that come off after really tepid, and they come off.
How
They're
was
like,
that? Was that good?
and no, but they don't even say that. They come out like they were lovely, weren't they? What? You're almost like, yeah, they're fucking right. They were, because they should have booed you off. That sort of the expectations. I'd love that. I'd love to like not come off most gigs and be like, oh, that was.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always picking holes in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I done it. Well, I done like, did you do Zoom gigs and stuff during
Yeah.
COVID? And I done one where there was the mics weren't on, and like even the pictures weren't on. So it was just
To
I'm
nothing.
just saying at a black
Fuck.
computer screen.
I think I did a few. I can't remember if I did ones where it was like that, but yeah, them Zoom gigs were. I didn't mind some of them.
Yeah. There was,
Like-
but like for that one, it was like I can just read my jokes off the screen and
Aye.
get paid for
Well,
this.
it's about, it was like sort of Schrodinger's gig, because you could have either had the best or worst gig of your life, you don't know.
Yeah.
I had one once in the Arches. It was a corporate actually, but it was like, have you ever been in the Arches in Glasgow?
No.
It's like, it used to be a nightclub, and then it's like now it's kind of like it's all street food stuff and all this kind of thing. But it was in the one of the first Arches when you came in, so that like, it's so echoey basically, and it was one of those ones. It was like some works night out. They were all chatting, so it's like I was going on stage and I could barely hear myself talk, and I'd done like whatever it was, 15-20 minutes, and so even though it was awful, because I couldn't hear any response.
Yeah.
It was like, it didn't even feel like I was gigging. It just felt like I was like
Yeah,
rehearsing or something. And
yeah.
I came off and I was like, that was awful, but it was like, it was absolutely, for me, it was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's the trick. Maybe it's just before going in, just pop earplugs. Just go into like, shut your eyes and go into monologue mode.
This guy is absolutely not phased by these headphones, is it? It's as if he can't even hear them. You mentioned Kevin Bridges. Did you were you opening for him in Australia?
I did this. So I did his world tour. So I did the European tour part and the Australian one,
Wow.
which was so much fun.
But you must have played the old Opera House a couple of times, have you? If
no,
you've done the gala,
the
was
first
that?
time. I've never done the galas at the Opera House. I've done them all the ones that like you got the State Theatre, which is like the bigger one,
Aye.
but the prestige one is the Opera House. But yeah, so I did that. First time I did it was Kev's tour.
Yeah.
But it was great fun. Because
I
again,
bet.
he's like, we started out together, but I was a bit older. But then he was just ready made, wasn't he? I don't know, man. He was like, I remember the first time I gigged with him, it was in like Derby or something like that. And I was probably 23 or whatever. He was 18 I think I'd heard his name, but this was before all the TV stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, he was 18, so even though I was only about 5 years older, in my head I was like, who's this kid? And he went on, and he was, not only was he brilliant, but he just had the air of somebody who'd been doing it for about 40 years. Like, he was wearing like a black shirt and trousers, and he was just so commanding. And I was still this sort of like messing around t-shirt boy. and it was it was so impressive.
Yeah.
And then that 2009, we did our debut shows together, and both got nominated. And then Johnny Sweet won it. It was a very interesting year. Jack White or Kevin Bridges, Pete Johansson, me and Johnny Sweet.
I've never heard of Johnny Sweet.
Johnny Sweet is now like he's sort of more TV writer producer type. He was part of the sort of Tim
Kind of like
Key,
Footlightsy.
yeah,
kind of
those
guy.
sorts of
Yeah.
guys. It was very, very good,
Aye.
really funny, very character sort of based stuff. But he was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was quite a sort of cool group to
That's
be
mad.
part of.
Do you remember who was in for the main award that you were nominated for?
I know Bridget Christie. she won it
She
because
won.
she was just like, it was never not going to be Bridget. That was when she did that show. Was it a Bic for
A
her?
Bic
or
for her,
something?
yeah.
And like, it was just even pre-festival, you knew it was happening. You know, it was so she's so funny as well. Like, you know, have you ever seen any? Did you ever see her shows before that when she used to pretend to be Charles II for an hour? Like, she's so funny and she's lovely. Like, you know, she's. I was happy to like, lose to her, but
Yeah.
but I can't remember who else it was. It's Bridget. I don't know.
Did you see at that time? Did you get wrapped up in all the award stuff and all that back in the day?
Nah, like I used to probably from about 2010, 2011, I didn't engage in any of it. Like I never read a review, never knew who was in. Like, and I kept that going actually up until probably this year. It's the first year I've been here. So I had a break from COVID, and I came back. Like, I did 5 nights in 2023, and then last year I did the whole run in the courtyard. And last year I felt suddenly like, oh, I'm out of all that. I don't mind knowing if someone's in. I don't mind. I'm not going to. I don't really read reviews, but I don't mind knowing about them. And you know, I feel like I couldn't engage with them because I was like, I didn't trust myself to not let them go and go to my head, or like, stress me out if I had a bad one.
Yeah.
And now do you think you're just comfortable enough in who you are and what you're doing?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
No,
really.
I could read a bad one now, and I'm like, that's all right. You know what I mean? And a good one's not going to make me feel like I'm fucking hot shit.
Aye.
I think I've just got to the age where I'm sort of zen about it.
Yeah.
Whereas, I just think I used to have to avoid them because I thought I can't risk being. I could also because there were so many people that are obsessed about them. You know, and it really eats them up. And the people that have to, I've got to avoid everything. Like, but mine was just like, I'm just going to disengage and then just see what happens. So,
I think like my favourite Fringe was like that year just after COVID when the awards weren't there and
I
stuff.
heard it
and
was
just
amazing.
everybody was just sort
Yeah.
of supportive and going to see each other's shows, and there wasn't any of that pressure. Or
Yeah.
just felt nicer.
Aye, well, I done like a week there and I was just working stuff up. I'm actually back. I was in MB4 and where I'm back now, so it take me 4 years to get back to where I was fucking in 2021. But it was no, it was really good. Like that room was class, and like I think it was even if it was socially distanced, but it was still just felt like
Yeah.
real good.
And everybody just
Good vibe.
felt happy about the house, I think. So they were just good audiences.
I know, no, it's mental. But
How many hour-long shows have you done? You must have done heaps.
Oh man, like I reckon I've done 15.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
What's the most amount of ones you've done on the spin? Like year
I
to year?
did. I did 2009 was my debut, and I went right up to 2019.
Wow.
And in that, and then in 2020, I was in Australia, so I did another one there that was new that I didn't do here. And 2021, I think I did one in Australia. So 2022 is the only time I didn't do a show because my dad died in that summer.
Right.
So like, and then so like I've only had basically I've done a show every year apart from 2022 since 2009.
Wow.
And I mean, I don't know how much of it is good.
we don't remember one of them things.
I don't remember loads of them, to be honest. I don't really write stuff. I never write shows out. You know what I mean? It's always bullet points, and then I've got boxes of notebooks and stuff. But and I never used to record any of them. I never used to record previews and listen back or any of that. Like I just let them just happen and go, and never recorded them
You
afterwards.
should film them all and release them as one, like 24 hours.
Carl Donnelly box.
Do you know, it'd be if I went through all the notebooks, and actually it'd be funny to just try and see how much of it I could do in one, like just go. Yeah, like
You try and recreate your look.
14-hour show.
Recreate your look from each era as well. It's like,
Just have it on stage and just get changed. And do the
Carl
next
Donnelly
one.
era.
After work doing bits about the credit crunch.
That's a really fun, Oh God.
You mentioned about your dad passing away.
Yeah.
Carl, which I'm sorry to hear about, but I remember reading a review of the show you done, and it was like such a glowing review. And I had done a show about my mum passing away, and I remember reading it going, that is exactly how I would want to approach that show. And
I
think
don't know what they thought. I never read the review.
They just said it was like so like well done, and like you know like we like you know it was. And I think you said to me when I'd mentioned it to you before about like you were just telling all the kind of funny stories about the stuff that happens after.
Well, yeah, that was not. I wanted to do a dead dad show, but no, it was more about the admin of death. You know, like because it's shit.
Yeah.
Like you're literally grieving, and suddenly you've got to do so much paperwork and like clearing stuff and organise a funeral and all that.
Oh,
It's fucking dire.
I heard my dad on the phone after my mum passed away, and he was ordering the death certificate, which you
Yeah.
need before you can sort out the funeral, and he just went, no, a second class stamp will be fine. It's like, if you're not going to get a first class stamp now, when the fuck are you ever going to get
That's what
it?
you would have wanted.
To save 80 pence.
no even, probably. It's
You know,
crazy, man.
I did the show with my dad's ashes on stage, right? Like, and I did it in the yurt.
Did you
So
do it
it's
like,
have you ever been in the yurt?
No.
It's the
Yeah,
round.
yeah.
So I had it in the middle. I had my dad's ashes in the middle, and I sort of did the show around the ashes. And I don't think the audiences fully believed it was the real ashes, and it was. But like, so one night, but I'd tell him at the start that is genuinely my dad's. My dead dad is there. And only 2 times people had to run out of the room, so they had like a fear of like that phobia.
Really? Well.
So I know somebody's got a phobia of death, which
I
I think we've all got a phobia.
Yeah,
of.
it'd be different if the corpse was there. I think ashes is
But yeah, like 2 people just bailed straight away the moment I said it was the ashes.
Wow. Fucking hell. I think ashes is fine.
I know. Have you ever
Come
seen them?
I've seen ashes, yeah.
But because I opened it. I didn't put the agent not after. I don't know why I didn't think it would just be ash.
The bucket.
I know, I was thinking that.
That's always been a good idea. But yeah, I just, about 6 months after I got them, I just thought, I wonder what they look like, and I just obviously it is literally just ash, isn't it? I don't know why I thought it'd be like sort of body coloured.
What was that place you were showing me the other day, Stu? It was like there's a sort of novelty coffin place in Edinburgh.
Edinburgh,
nice.
they've got a novelty coffin, so you can get like an Only Fools and Horses coffin, or like a Greg sausage roll, or like a pint of Tennants.
I love it.
We should get
having that on
sponsored by them.
stage.
If anyone's listening from them, get in touch. I'd love to.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe
Sell
they'll
some
get
of
in
that
touch
shit.
and offer us a deal on it.
Some laugh coffin on the Patreon.
Did you ever see Benny Boots when he used to do stand up?
No, I never
He
actually.
was a brilliant comic, but he gave up and he went off and lived in a Japanese monastery. But he and now he's back. Now he's sort of back, but because he's now clowning. Obviously, he's one of my best mates, but he's really had a wild journey. Like we started out together. He used to have a joke about how he goes, just before I die, I'm going to swallow loads of popcorn kernels. He goes to the cremation. Everyone's sad, but it's like free popcorn.
That's great, man. But well, listen, Carol. Well, I guess that's probably about covers it for this week's episode.
Thanks so much,
Thanks for
man.
coming in. Thanks for coming on, mate. Do you want to plug your show? We'll have this out probably next week. So
Oh, cool. Yeah, still it's at the Hive, 8:30 every night. It's called Another Round. It's good fun, but I'm enjoying it now. I've got to get used to the smell of the Hive. So if you're coming, what I've worked out a trick to do is I turn the fans on when I get in after Tony Law, who I recommend as well. I went to see Tony Law's show, and it's like an old school Fringe mad. He's just mad, and it's so funny to watch because you see so many shows now that are so polished and everyone's put loads of work into it, and then you go see Tony. It's like, oh no, this is he's literally just mucking about.
Yeah.
But so I put the fans on and I spray some aftershave into the fans.
Oh,
So I
nice.
fill the room with that for us. So it's getting better. I've worked out ways to make it not smell like jizz.
Shouldn't really be the performer's job, should it? But
No, you're, I mean, on the first few
Didn't do
nights
that
I
at the
did
Opera
feel
House.
that, and smell of jizz in it.
well, anyway, listen, Carol. Thanks so much for joining
cheers,
us.
yeah, cheers, mate.
As ever, before we go, obviously we've all got shows at Fringe as well. Do sign up to Patreon, like and subscribe on YouTube, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast, Spotify, all of that sort of stuff. And thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll speak to you very soon.
Cheers, guys. Thanks,
Cheers,
Carl.
Carol.
Cheers, man.